In the year 1501, a young warrior named Ismail entered the city of Tabriz and declared himself Shah. This moment marked the birth of the Safavid Empire, one of the most powerful and influential dynasties in the history of the Islamic world. But the roots of this empire stretch back centuries into the depths of mysticism, tribal loyalties, and relentless struggle. This is the story of how a persecuted spiritual order from Ardabil transformed into a mighty empire stretching from the Caucasus to the Persian Gulf. The Safavid name comes from Sheikh Safi al-Din Ardabili, a revered Sufi mystic who lived in the 13th and 14th centuries. He was a disciple of Sheikh Zahid Gilani and later transformed his teacher's Zahidi Sufi order into his own, the Safaviya. Over generations, this spiritual movement grew in influence, particularly around the town of Ardabil in northwestern Iran. By the 15th century, it was more than just a religious group. It had become a powerful socio-political force. Under Sheikh Junaid, the Safavid order began to take on a militant identity. His followers, known as the Qizilbash, wore distinctive red headgear with 12 folds, symbolizing their devotion to the 12 imams of Shia Islam. Junaid didn't just preach, he marched. He launched campaigns into regions like Trabzon and Dagestan, trying to carve out a domain of his own. But in 1460, while attacking Shirvan, he was killed in battle near the Samur River. His son, Sheikh Haidar, continued the mission, blending religious fervor with political ambition. He led expeditions into the Caucasus and further expanded the Qizilbash following. But in 1488, during another campaign into Shirvan, Haidar too was slain. After his death, the Safavid order was brutally repressed. His sons, including the young Ismail, were forced to flee to the region of Gilan. Many assumed that the Safavids were finished, but history had other plans. In 1499, at just 13 or 14 years old, Ismail Safavi emerged from hiding. Despite his youth, he had been trained in theology, poetry, leadership, and warfare. Charismatic and determined, Ismail began sending letters to distant followers, calling them to his cause. Thousands responded. From Anatolia, Syria, Azerbaijan, and beyond, waves of Turkic tribes and devoted Qizilbash warriors gathered around the young sheikh. With a force of around 7,000, Ismail launched his first campaign, and he aimed straight for Shirvan, seeking revenge for his father and grandfather. In the Battle of Jabani, Ismail defeated the Shirvanshah army and laid siege to Baku. The city, once considered impenetrable, eventually fell. Ismail turned south and met the Akkoyunlu ruler Alvan Mirza at Sharur. Despite being outnumbered nearly 4-1, Ismail's forces won a decisive victory in 1501. Later that year, he marched into Tabriz and declared himself Shah of Azerbaijan. From a fugitive boy to emperor in just a few years, Ismail's journey had reshaped the Middle East. Ismail didn't stop in Tabriz. In 1503, he defeated Sultan Murad, another Akkoyunlu ruler, effectively ending their dynasty. His empire now stretched across Azerbaijan, western Iran, and into Mesopotamia. But a new threat was rising in the east. The Uzbek warlord Muhammad Shaybani had taken control of Khorasan and set his eyes on central Iran. In 1510, Ismail led his army to Merv and lured Shaybani into open battle. The Battle of Merv was brutal, but ended with Shaybani's death and Ismail's complete control over Khorasan. Ismail then marched into Herat, Balkh, and other strategic cities, bringing them under Safavid rule. By the time he was just 25, Shah Ismail ruled an empire spanning 2.8 million square kilometers. From the shores of the Caspian Sea to the Persian Gulf, from Anatolia to the borders of India, the Safavid Empire had become a dominant force in the Islamic world. But Ismail was more than a conqueror. He was a poet, a theologian, and the man who officially made Twelver Shi'ism the state religion of Iran, a move that would shape the region's religious identity for centuries. The boy who had once fled for his life became a symbol of resistance, unity, and transformation. This was not just the rise of an empire, it was the rebirth of a nation. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this historical story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into forgotten empires and epic leaders.